Get out of the car. I'm going to give it to you again. Get out of the car!
Stop reaching!
On November 8, 2024, in Florida, officers pursued a fleeing vehicle on Highway 18, deployed spike strips, used a taser to remove a non-compliant driver, and arrested 2 people on felony charges.
What direction?
We're eastbound. I'm trying to get the fix on it. Wait a minute. I'm gonna get sticks in the roadway here on 18. He's still eastbound. Coming up to 9.
Put your hands!
Before we get into the law, quick note: this footage includes a taser deployment and a physical arrest. It is presented here strictly for legal and educational analysis. Under Florida Statute Section 316-1935, any person who willfully flees a law enforcement officer with lights and siren activated commits a felony of the 3rd degree. That is where this stop went sideways immediately. Flight from police is not ambiguous under Florida law. The moment that vehicle failed to stop, both occupants entered felony territory. Everything that followed, the spike strips, the taser, the arrest, flows directly from that one decision. Officers deployed spike strips rather than engaging in a high-speed chase. That is tactically sound and legally appropriate. Minimizing risk to the public while still affecting the stop is exactly the kind of proportionate decision-making that holds up under scrutiny.
Show me your hands! Get out of the car!
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car!
Get out!
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Put it in drive! Let go of the car! Get out of the car now!
Get out of the car! Stop! Stop! Stop!
Car! Get out of the car and get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground now!
Get out of the car!
Okay, I can't.
Get out! Hey, put it in park!
I can't!
Get out of the car! Get out of the car. I'm going to give it to you again. Get out of the car!
Stop reaching! Stop reaching! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands now!
She's got a crack pipe in her hands. I got the keys. Get on that side. I got the keys.
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now!
Here, let go. Let go. Let go. Get out of the car!
Give me your hands!
Still fighting radio. We're 10-4.
Give me more radio now. Put your hands behind your back! Get that guy over there on the south side. South side. He's in cuffs. All right. I got the crack pipe. Let go of the crack pipe! Let go of the crack pipe! Stop moving! Stop grabbing me! We're 15, release it. Here's the crack pipe she had in her hand. Thank God.
Get over here. Hold on. Yep, gotta be searched. Yep. You got your work phone on you? Yeah. Grab your work phone, photograph the probes. I got her.
On the Taser, officers gave repeated, unambiguous commands before escalating. Under Graham versus Connor, 1989, force is judged by 3 factors: severity of the crime, immediate threat, and active resistance. All 3 Graham factors were met. A third-degree felony was already on the table. The subject was inside an uncontrolled vehicle, and she refused every command. The Taser deployment is legally defensible under that standard. The crack pipe recovered from Anna's hand is a textbook plain view seizure. Under Horton versus California, 1990, if an officer is lawfully present and the item is immediately visible, it is admissible without a warrant. No Fourth Amendment issue here. Florida Statute Section 893(13) covers drug possession. Crack cocaine is a Schedule II controlled substance. Anna had it in her hand at the moment of arrest. That is actual possession, the most straightforward version of that charge. Reginald's post-Miranda statement created a constructive possession problem for himself. He told officers he knew Anna had drugs and where she wanted to go to get more. Under Florida's constructive possession doctrine, knowledge plus association with the contraband's location is enough. Both subjects received Miranda advisements. Reginald waived his rights and talked. Anna ultimately said no and invoked her right to silence. Under Michigan versus Mosley, 1975, that invocation must be scrupulously honored. The officer said okay and stopped questioning. Correct call. One legal concern. Before Reginald's Miranda advisement, officers asked him pointed questions. Under Rhode Island versus Innis, 1980, interrogation includes the functional equivalent of direct questioning. Statements from that pre-Miranda window are potentially suppressible.
What? Who's bleeding?
No, Kathleen. Was that Kathleen?
I don't think so. Whose car is 1725? Just put him over here. Well, that was quite not smart, was it? Not smart at all. Told you what?
She told me, go, go, go.
Why? Why would you do that? Because look what happened. Do you have anything else on you or inside of you?
No.
Who is she to you?
Friend?
Can you do me a favor and test this for crack, please? Excuse me. Do you have anything in your shoes?
No.
Anything that she's missing in the search that you don't want to find in jail? I'm asking you now.
No.
Politely. Yeah, we're good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so he originally fled a traffic stop from her. Yeah.
Take a seat still facing me and kick your shoes off, please.
Got anything tucked up in your bra or anything like that?
No, sir.
No?
I don't have a bra on.
Alright. Get in the car. Take a seat.
Alright. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court of law. You can talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you can afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I have explained to you?
Yes.
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?
I'll talk to him now.
Okay. So that's a yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you run?
I didn't ran. She told me to go, go. I tried to stop. She keep messing my gas. I said, go, go, go. I tried to stop right there on 13. She said, go, go.
Who is she to you?
That's a friend.
Why'd you listen to her? Is there anything in the vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah?
Bill.
There's a what?
Bill?
A bill?
Bill.
Bill.
Like Budweiser, that's an ice bill?
So alcohol?
Yeah, bill.
Have you been drinking?
Yeah, about 1 bill.
What's 1 bill? Like a tall boy or a...
Bud Light.
Okay. So 1 Bud Light?
Yeah.
Okay. What did she have on her? Why did she not want you to stop?
Because she had all her shit on her. I picked her up, she said, take me over there.
Where's over there?
Oh, Seminole, somewhere over there.
She wanted you to drop her off over by Seminole?
Yeah.
Where at?
Seminole about 20, like 21st or 20.
Where'd you pick her up from?
Oh, 7 and 28.
7th Avenue, 28th Street?
Yeah.
And then she wanted to be dropped off Seminole where?
Somewhere over on 20.
On 20 what?
Seminole about 21st or 20.
Okay, why did she want to be dropped off there?
Get some drugs or something.
You think that's why, or you know?
That's right.
That's why?
Yeah.
She wanted to get drugs? What kind of drugs?
I don't know, hard. Hard.
What's that?
Rocks.
Rocks?
Yeah.
Okay, did she say who she was going to get it from?
Nope.
No. Is this your vehicle?
Yeah. I live right on the corner.
Okay, what's your name?
Reggie.
What's your full name?
Reginald.
What's your last name?
Ellison. E-L-L-I-S-O-N.
I-S-O-N.
O-N.
What's your date of birth?
9/17/61.
What's the last 4 of your social? Okay. What's your name? Hello. Did anybody read her yet? Anna, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yes,
and having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now? Do you understand your rights, Anna?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you wish to have a conversation about tonight?
I mean, if you guys need me to.
That's up to you. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to have a conversation with me? No? Okay. Lock!
Anna's competency finding is significant. Under Pate v. Robinson, 1966, the U.S. Supreme Court held that convicting a legally incompetent defendant violates due process under the 14th Amendment. Her case was not dismissed. It was paused pending competency restoration. She was committed to the Florida Department of Children and Families under Florida Statute Section 9/16/12. If she is later found competent to proceed, those charges can be reinstated. Competency commitment is a legal holding pattern, not a resolution. Now for grades. Officers receive a B+. Spike strip deployment was the right call. Verbal escalation was documented. Miranda was complete for both subjects. The deduction comes from the pre-Miranda questioning of Reginald, which creates an unnecessary suppression risk. Anna receives a C. She initiated the felony by fleeing, resisted at the vehicle after repeated warnings, and had the controlled substance physically in her hand. Her mental health status adds context, but it does not change what the law says about that night. Reginald receives a C+. Florida law places responsibility for stopping with the driver, regardless of what a passenger demands. His post-Miranda cooperation likely contributed to a probationary sentence, but his own words handed prosecutors the knowledge element of the drug possession charge. Before we wrap, There are 5 takeaways from this stop worth understanding. Whether you are a driver, a passenger, or just someone who wants to know how the law actually works in these situations. Lesson 1. Fleeing a traffic stop in Florida is a felony from the first second you drive away. Under Florida Statute Section 316, 1935, there is no gray area. Activated lights and siren means stop. Lesson 2. A passenger telling you to run is not a legal defense. Florida courts are clear. The driver controls the vehicle, and the driver bears criminal responsibility for the decision to flee. Someone else's words do not transfer your liability. Lesson 3. Once you waive Miranda, everything you say is evidence. Reginald gave officers exactly what they needed for a drug charge by talking. Anna invoked her right to silence. That is the legally safer move, every time. Lesson 4. Mental health and competency are not the same as innocence. Anna's commitment to DCF paused her case. It did not end it. The charges remain on the table until the court formally resolves them. Lesson 5. Under Horton v. California, anything an officer can see while lawfully present is fair game for seizure, no warrant needed. Contraband that is visible at the moment of arrest is already evidence. If this breakdown was useful, drop a comment and let us know your take. Subscribe to our channel for more legal analysis of real body cam footage, and we will see you in the next one.